What's up, amigos? Commander Jaime here today. So we're gonna do a box opening for set 4. This is called The Awakening of Chakrabarti. Whew, I said that correctly. I'm humbled that Bushiroad also gave me this box too, so kudos to them. This is my second box opening from them, so I appreciate the opportunity, of course. And you know what's really cool, we're getting a lot of good stuff in this set. We're getting new grade 4s for the new lines, and as we can see behind the box, we have for the Magnolia, we have Bruce, we have Nirvana, we have the Bastion Prime, and the Seraph Pure Light. So these are pretty cool grade 4s that I feel like most of us are actually excited for, especially since the release is this weekend. So I'm excited to play Magnolia and also Seraph as well. So those actually have really cool effects too, and the artwork is really cool on top of that too. And if you guys are watching the Vanguard show, season 2 for the English sub is currently on, and it's actually appearing on the channel at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. So let's start opening some of the box itself right now. So I opened it a little bit so that way I save some time. And what's really cool right at the back, that's so cool, we're getting some Seraph Pure Light sleeves here. So let me zoom in a little bit to concentrate. So really nice artwork too. So I'm looking forward to play Seraph as well. And put that aside, we got the usual packs here. Put this aside for now, so you can see as well. Pretty nice artwork. I actually like the artwork a lot here in this set too. And then of course, this time they didn't have the actual markers like they did last set. I guess they exchanged it for the sleeves now at this point too. So I mean, it's a really cool sleeve, so I'll take it. So let's start opening with the first pack, shall we? Open from the side. What do we got here? So I'll go slowly for the first pack and maybe the second one. And then when I hit something that's like really shiny, I'll cover it as well. So we have the Sylvan Beast Lemuria. This is useful for Magnolia, as you can see. I like the lemur looking artwork too. Dark Deceptive Diving. So this is an interesting card too as well. That works with Alchemagic too. So it's a different alternative to use as well. We have Seal Blaze Dragon for Shikashanya. I'm not sure if Dragon Empire uses this for the new Basvarga support too, but it's a really interesting deck too. And they do get support in this set as well. And so we have also Steam Hunter down here, has a time leap aesthetic in the dark states. We have Stealth Dragon Shakugan. Then we have the little Alvin. This is an interesting card because during the back row, what's in the back row, you can actually during the battle when it attacks, your opponent would have to call 2 cards at the same time. So if this guy has like 5k power, it's a 13k hitter. It puts them in an awkward position where they can't just use 1 card to guard. Now they have to guard with 2 cards. So I never really fought the 2 card restriction in that sense too, but you can use it in that way just to get more cards out of the opponent too. So that's a definitely alternative. Oh, sweet. We got over here our first double R. So it is the Sylvan Beast Panthero. And so when this unit is placed onto a rearguard circle, you can Soul Blast 1 and choose another copy from the drop and then call it to an open rearguard circle. So you can generate field that easily and reuse those cards. And then of course, when this attacks as a rearguard, if you have a Vanguard with Magnolia in the name, this gets plus 5k until the end of the battle. So it's a little beater in that sense. And then if you have more power, it becomes a bit bigger beater. And then of course that first skill is able to replenish the field with that sense. Now into the second pack. So I'll slowly cover this one as well. We have the Gear Align Cloud Swirling Thunder. Pretty cool artwork. We have Wind of Apocalypse, also cool artwork. Oh, the Electromagnetic Monster. So this is kind of interesting because it's a grade 3 15k base. But of course, if your Order Zone doesn't have any cards, this unit cannot attack. So it's one of those grade 3s that have a high base that have some kind of restraint skill on it. So this might be useful in certain builds too, not only in Overdress, but even in Premium potentially too. So it's just one of those things that you want to see. And so, ooh, I just saw a glance of something shiny. We got some Gravidia support as well. This set, even Gravidia is getting more support. That's actually going to be super helpful for that deck too. So, and we already saw from the metagame, it's really doing well as well. We have over here the Aurora Battle Princess, Taser Launch. So this just helps with more of the prison deck. And then we got, ooh, oh, this is awesome. We got our first triple R here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little more. There we go. And so what it does, this is really useful for Stealth Chaos decks in general. And you'll see. And so at the end of the battle that this unit attack a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, if this was the first battle of this turn, your Vanguard's flagship Flagberg, you can Soul Blast 1 to stand this unit. So this is essentially a restander for the deck. So you have more options to be able to restand and be able to do those 5 attacks or even more with your strategy in that sense. And that second skill is also pretty important. And at the end of the turn, if the total number of attacks this turn was 4 or more, you can put this unit into your assault and draw a card. It reminds me a lot of Koro Assault from the V series, where you can just throw down a card and get it back with drawing another card in its place and then filling up the soul. So it replenishes the soul that it uses too, which is really able to use the soul again for the next following turn. And what's really cool is that the second skill is not restricted to Magnolia. So if you have another Stoicheia type deck that actually can do 4 or more attacks, you can use this card, even in premium as well with different like clans such as Mega Colony. My friend Duke used this card too. You can do this in Granblue, you can do this in Aqua Force, and it's just very flexible card with really cool artwork as well. Third pack, so we got Fortune Reading, we got, Strange Food Preparation. This card's interesting, so when it's placed into your rearguard circle from the drop, you can choose a blitz order from your drop, and then you may put it to your hand. So this is essentially, you revive this guy, then you get an order back to your hand, so you're able to kind of use orders in that sense too, for like Sorga specifically too, but you can do it generically as well. We got Advance of the Great Cause for flagship Flagberg order. We got the new PGs, not PGs, draw triggers. I'm so used to saying PG draws. And really what this new draw effect, this is for every nation too, by the way, is that on Guardian Circle, when your opponent's Vanguard is greater to 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5k shield. So these become instantly 10k shields, and it's really nice because oftentimes draw triggers don't make it to certain decks. And as you notice, sometimes decks prioritize crits and even fronts over that, and only a very few use draw triggers in general. And it's mainly because they need to have some type of advantage, and this just is super helpful for those decks too, and may even weigh a little more consideration in other deck builds that may consider even draws in that sense too. So that way they can have some, shield value from it if you do hard draw it, for example, in that sense too. We have another order, and then boom, what we got here. So we got, let me zoom in. The Aurora Battle Princess chasing near. So when this unit attack hits, you can counterblast 1. Your opponent chooses a card from their hand and imprisons in your prison. And so this is another card just to help with your prison strategy. What I don't like about it is that it's on hit, but it grabs from the hand. So fair enough in that point too, because at that point you would just rip your opponent's hand in that sense a lot easy. On to the next pack. So we got a Stoicheia card. We have Dark States, Devon, Trace, Grandier, another of the draw triggers. So this one is for the Dragon Empire. So it's Slayer Veil Dragon. So for those who play Dragon Empire. And a Brian Gate one. So this is a double R, and its first skill essentially is rearguard circle. If your world is Dark Knight or Abyssal Dark Knight, this unit gets boost and can intercept from the back row, which is really nice. So that way you can take advantage of that shield and be able to boost to make numbers easily. And if your world, also in the Guardian Circle, if your world is Abyssal Dark Knight, this unit gets plus 10k. So this is the 15k shield when you have a Dark Abyssal Knight. So I've seen people play this card too, so it's definitely something to consider. Not only helping with building your fields aggressively, but also like defensively. On to the next one. We got Stephanie over here, Ishita, Suprema. So this one's interesting for Stoicheia. All they changed the name too. Whales melt in the sound of rain. I guess it wasn't appropriate for English from the original name. So it's a really simple, straightforward skill. Your opponent chooses one of their rearguards and retires it, and then you choose up to 1 card from your drop with the same grade as the unit that they retired, and call it to rearguard circle. So essentially you play this, let me revive something, and depending on what they have on the board, you can kind of predict to what to revive with. And it's free in that sense, so it doesn't use Counterblast or Soul Blast, so this might be consideration potentially. It just depends on your metagame too, and it may have some uses from premium as well. And then we have the Rhino. I've seen play with this card because all of your other units in the same column get boost, so you can use some flexibility in that sense, but I feel like a lot of the other cards just work better now, especially with the grade 4 Magnolia, so this card may not be needed as much, but I'm not too sure yet. So we have the Fallen Haphazard. Again, this is what I was saying, like Gravidia get more support. So when you would count the number of meteorite cards from your order zone into your drop zone for the cost of your Vanguard's ability, this counts as 2 cards, which is really nice, right? But the second skill is that when it's put into the drop zone from the order zone, then you combine this card and choose one of your opponents and rearguards and retire it. So it helps with that regard too. And then over here, we got the shiny one. So this is Diabolus Striker Lyle. Oh, Lyle. When this unit is placed onto a rearguard circle, you can counterblast 1, and this unit gets plus 5k until the end of the turn. If you're in Final Rush, you can Soul Charge 2, choose a card from your soul, and call it to open rearguard. So I'm not sure if it's seen in play, but it does have some synergy with the soul charging aspect, but I'm sure Bruce has some solid cards already that already fight for like the spots on the team, quote unquote, right? We got Lightning Howl Dragon over here. Then we got Synchro Disorder. Another order for Flagberg. 12 Stegmia Bannis. And then, oh, we got over here Catter Sanctuary. So let me zoom in. At the end of the battle that this your unit attack, you can counterblast 1, perform all the following according to the trigger units revealed in that battle stripe check. So the first one is a critical trigger. Choose one of your opponent's rearguard and put it to the bottom of the deck. If it was a front trigger, then you choose one of your grade 2 or less rearguards and stand it. So this can help you, like, once you stack your deck, you can help like predict if you're doing multi-attacks or being able to retire in that sense. So it's just another cool card that you can have as a rearguard actually, which is really cool too. So that way your Vanguard can still be Hexorb, and then this could be a rearguard where you can just helps you like do more on top of that. Catter Sanctuary Order, Negrita, Wade, Tanya, Heavy Strike Brave Shooter. This is legitimately looks like an Aqua Force unit. When this unit attacks, if your Vanguard's Flag Shirt, Flag Bird, this unit gets plus 5k until the end of the turn. So it's just like a 15k beater that you want to use in that sense. Obviously, there's other units that are more important, especially like getting restands. So this guy might not make the cut in that sense. We have over here Rapture, and then the next card that's shiny. Ooh, sweet. This is for Buzz Varga for Dragon Empire, Solitary Spiritual Treasure. So play this unit with Counterblast 2, and you can choose 2 arm cards from your drop and put them into your hand. So this helps recycle for those arms too, especially if you lost one due to damage or something like that, and you can just get it back. It's super helpful. We have Reese from Dark States. We got Selfishness for Dark States, the order. This is Gravidia, more support as well. I don't even know what this does actually. When this unit is placed onto Rigor Circle, draw a card and choose one of your cards and discard. Oh, okay, so draw and discard in this sense. Oh, it's this card. So this is one of these cards where I saw and I instantly thought of Chaos in Premium. If you guys remember Chaos Close, that actually triggers when it's discarded from hand. So this is another card that I was thinking maybe messing with to be able to proc that card too as well. And it's also a 10k body too, which is super helpful in that deck too as well. So we have another here, Constellia, and then we have, oh man, Lemia. Interesting names in that side too. Okay, now we got a really nice card over here, Dark States Shiny, Helheim Fervent Rage. So play this card, discard a card from your hand, countercharge 1, and if you're on Final Rush, you can draw 2 cards, choose 2 cards from your hand, and call them to Rigor Circle, and they get plus 5k too. So this is like just being able to draw more cards, also use like give power to the Rigords too, and you're able to like countercharge at the same time. So I'm sure it has its uses, but I feel like the other order card that they play already is like super beneficial, especially if they want to push in that sense. Delbafe, Riot Beetle, Luyuka, Ghost Bilk. So this is another card that I thought was interesting too. So choose up to 2 grade 2 or greater normal units from your drop and put them into the top of your deck in any order, and then put this card into your Sol. So when I think of this card, if there are decks that can able to draw on free will outside of this, you can kind of stack the deck with the cards that you actually want and be able to use them. Another use for in Premium too as well, like I was thinking maybe like for Aqua Force Dennis, where you can rest one of your Rigors and call the top card of your deck. At that point, you just stack whatever grade 2 or greater normal unit on top of your deck, and you just call it for free in that sense. So that's something that I was considering too as well, but I thought it was kind of cool to share. Let's see, Usurper, decent unit. We have Krusty over here. Now we got the other shiny card, Desire Devil Keenan. And so Greedon is also getting support in this side, as you can see with the Desire Devils. When this unit is placed onto Rigard Circle during your main phase, you can counterblast 1, look at the top card of your deck, and call it to Rigard Circle, and at the end of the turn, retire that unit called. So really this is super helpful to like build a field in that sense if you really need to with just using your counterblast. So that way Greedon can be able to do its restand pretty easily in that sense too. Next pack, we have Riot Beeble as well. Loyuka again, Ghost Bilk, Usurper, Balaka, Girafina. This card's interesting too, so I'll slow down for this one. When this unit is placed onto your back row Rigard Circle, you may have this unit get plus 10k until the end of the turn, and if you do, this unit can now move onto another Rigard Circle until the end of the turn. So this is one of those cards that makes sure that when you place it, you're very deliberate with it, but you can get a beater out of it too. So with the Magnolia grade 4, this can be another beater that you can use as well, and then just being able to just hit numbers in that sense too. And oh, we got our triple R right here. There we go. So Gravidia, Baku Burrito. Burrito. Man, if I butcher that, I'm sorry. But anyway, the first skill, when this unit is placed onto Rearguard Circle, you can Soul Blast 1, choose a meteorite card from your drop, and then put it into your order zone. So that helps like fetching with the orders in the sense. During your turn, continuous Rearguard, if your opponent's Rearguard was retired this turn, this unit gets plus 5k, and then if 3 or more were retired, it gets plus crit. So with Gravidia's effect, you're able to have this gain crit too and power, which I feel like does have some use in this. I haven't seen a Gravidia deck for set 4 yet. I've been so preoccupied with premium, so I'm sure I might see this unit out being played. Loyuka again. We have all the Aurora Battle Princesses. This one's interesting too. So you can play this unit, play this card with Soul Blast 2. Imprison all your opponent's back row Rearguards in your prison. Right now, especially since set 3 in prison, I don't see having trouble with like prisoning units, so I feel like this card may not see play, but it's just one of those other options where you can lock an entire back row. That sounds pretty fruitful. I think it's more prevalent against a deck that can swarm the back row, like let's say Magnolia, for example. That might be coming up a lot more easier. But your soul is also precious in that deck too. But if you have the extra soul and not want to use Counterblast, this might be something to use for in that sense. So we have Dooley, Uli, they go together obviously. More arms for Prosvarga. We have Injection Angel, and ooh, we got this guy, Seal Blaze Dragon, Adarla. So this is when this unit is placed onto Rearguard Circle. If your Vanguard has 1 arms, you can Counterblast 1, choose an arms card from your hand or drop, and then arm it to one of your Vanguards. So you can able to quickly arm your Vanguard with the ones that you want in your drop too, a lot more easier. But if you want to activate a second one, boom, you got this guy to do so. And then during your turn, if your Vanguard Circle has 2 or more arms, this unit gets plus 5k. So it's a bit of a beater too. So not only that it helps you get there, but it also becomes a little beater too on top of that. Choki, Lugaza, Desire Devil, Bessie, Bessie, Dooley again, the Baif, we got Flint, or Flint? Yeah, Flint. So this card's also interesting too for the Bastion deck. And so during your turn, if your Vanguard is Apex Persons or Bastion Prime, which is the grade 4, this unit gets plus 5k. And then when this unit is stood by your card's effect, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets an additional plus 5k. So it's meant to synergize with the new grade 4 just to get more benefits specifically from those effects. Ooh, speaking of Bastion over here, we got the shiny one over here, the triple R. So we have Heavenly Pike of Solicitation, Cornerback. Wow, fancy. So act Rearguard Circle. You can Soul Blast 1 and rest this unit. Look at the top 3 cards of the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 grade 3 or greater unit with a different card name from this unit from among them. Call it to Rearguard Circle, and then put the rest of the bottom of your deck in order. So this helps you build up a field if you really need to. I think this is kind of useful in the sense just to build up a field. I'm sure it has its specific uses. One of the things that I noticed with Bastion, especially since like set 2 and set 3, the grade 3s are pretty solidified. So I'm not sure if with set 4 it might change it up a bit, but this is something that can help build up a field in that sense. We have 4 more packs, so hopefully we pull a DSR or a SSR, so that's our goal, right? We have Ecclesia, we have Jujus, if I pronounce that correctly, Restraint Pioneer. Wow, they are really going with the names. Actually, what does this do? When this unit is placed onto Rearguard Circle, you can soul charge 1 for each of your opponent's cards in prison for your prison. Holy crap, if you prison a lot, you could soul charge a lot potentially with this card. So I could see this is more of a resource card in that sense. So I don't know if it'll see play though, because prisons is already kind of tight in their lineup, especially in the grade 2s, but we'll see. Lethia over here, we got an order card, we got another order, and oh, SP Trick Moon. So for those that don't know, what this does is that when its unit is placed onto your back row center from your drop, you can countercharge 1. Now for dress boost, this is that when this unit boosts, the boosted unit gets plus 10k until the end of the battle for each of the Seal Blaze Maiden Prosvarga with Armament. So this helps with the Prosvarga deck in that sense. But wow, look at that reflection right there. Oh my gosh, this is actually pretty cool art. It's literally Trickstar but just like evil. So I might actually just sell this or maybe build the Prosvarga deck. I have no idea. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. You got Gravidia Rink. We have Embrace Dragon, Usuno no, Sailing, Yara, Fuyon Nula. And there we go. We got one of the Great Fours, finally. That's what I was looking. Chakra, Barthi, True Dragon, Maher, Nirvana. Wow, what a mouthful. But look at that art, for real. Look at that. It's gorgeous in that sense. And so its first skill, continues Vanguard Circle during your turn. If you have a unit with the overdressed state, all of your front units get plus 10k, which is really nice. The second skill is Act. Once per turn, you can counterblast one, put a card with Nirvana in its name from your hand or soul into your drop. Then choose a grade 0 from your drop and call it to Vanguard Circle. And then choose one of your opponent's Vanguards, and if your opponent's damage has 4 or less cards, deal 1 damage. And so, bam. This is one of those cards that reminds me of the Purge, like Overlord specifically, back in like G era, which is like, let's deal 1 damage in that sense. And it's definitely that has that aesthetic with like Dragon Empire to it. And what's really cool is that it helps beef up your overdressed field, of course, and then you'll be able to like build up the choose grade 0 from your call it to Vanguard. You build up a field in that sense, and you could overdress in that sense, and then boom, deal damage too. So and you can capitalize with the Varina cards too as well with that. So pretty cool. Finally, we got one of the Great Fours too. I was hoping to see at least one of these for sure. 2 more and we'll be done. So we have an order. We have Gahamitsu, Sanya. Oh, I didn't know we were getting these heal triggers. Is this the new heal triggers, or is this the actual one that's like promo? I don't even know, but we got something. So this is the heal trigger, Soul, Repoise, Pixie, Petrolon. Look at that art, it's pretty cool. It reminds me of Ghosties, to be quite frank. So I might even just change this up with my heal trigger line. So that's awesome that we got this, actually. So looking forward to that. Subliminal Wish order card. We have the Chandra arm, and boom, we got the Hollow over here. So Nuha. And so when this unit attacks, if there are no other rear guards, this unit gets plus 5k until the end of the turn, and at the end of the battle, stand this unit. And so it just helps with that, being able to stand and do more attacks in that sense. Last pack, so hopefully this is the pack of destiny, as simply Unlucky would say, right? We have Balanka here, we have Ecclesia, we have Jatus, Paini, Wazur, I don't even know what that is, Koke, and dang, oh well, we didn't get an SSRD, sorry. If only. It's just the giraffe or Girafana, just shiny piece in that sense too. But yeah, and that's the box opening for set 4, guys. So as you can see, we got a couple triple R's here, we got the SP Trick Moon over here, and then we got the heal trigger that is a different rarity. I have to look this up. I'm not sure how rare this card is, but it looks pretty cool. I'll be quite frank. So I'm keeping this guy or this chick in the sense. But yeah, I enjoyed actually having the opportunity just to be able to do a box opening for you guys too in regards to Bushiroad. Thanks again to them to reaching out again. And I definitely encourage you guys to go to your local game shop too, especially since they're coming out with more promos too, with the campaigns too. So you can even get more cards for like the overdress support too, such as like the Mpeaks, and of course the Maleta with different rarities too as well. So I definitely encourage that, and I'll put the links in the description below, some of the cards that you can look up for yourself, or even like the shops for the local list in that sense too. And again, if you want to watch this, so I highly recommend it. Check out season 2 Card 5 Vanguard for the dub version on their YouTube channel too as well. And again, so if you like the video, give it a like, comment down below what's something that you love from this set. For me, I'm really excited for the Stoicheia cards. I was hoping to pull at least one of the Great Fours for Stoicheia, which is the Elder, Magnolia, and then of course maybe even the Seraph, Pure Light, but it is what it is at that point, right? At least we got these babies, right? And so in the sense, feel free to share the video too and subscribe. See you, amigos. Bye.